Smoking that dope from Medman. We the new meth and Redman. We ain't real blood, but we brethren. Run up a check and it's pending. She took them up news, we'll send them.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, is that not the truth or what? It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, today's May the 3rd. Yeah, it is May the 3rd, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. What day is it? Yeah, it is May the 3rd. Today's Monday, May the 3rd. Let's get pretty excited about that. Day 123 of the year, and only 242 days left before it is all over with. Anyways, hopefully you had a great weekend. I will definitely share with you about my weekend. We'll give that a little bit before we get into that. But hopefully everything's good and grand, and you're off to a great start. We are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse of Safety FM, just in case. So there you go. That's what's going on our neck of the woods. Of course, we're also simulcasting on that other place that we hang out with. You know, that other place. Maybe that other place. Sometimes that other place. I forgot. There we go. Let's hit the right button. Let's try that again.
Radio.
Every day it's a new day, apparently, around here when we're coming in and doing the things that we do. So let me tell you how the show works in case you're not familiar with it. We'll go through the whole standpoint here. So it kind of goes this way. We bring in some newscasters. They talk about what's going on inside of the world of the news. I give you some of my nonsense of what's going on. And then we kind of go format to format, talk a little bit about safety, talk a little bit about news, talk about what's going on in your life, talk about what's going on in mine, and then we kind of go from there. Anyway, so let's talk about what we were seeing over the weekend according to the hashtags and all that kind of fun stuff. Still, Magnolias was trending along with actress Olympia Dukakis following the news of her passing. More about that later on. Hashtag Kentucky Derby 2021 landed in the top 10 trending tweets over the weekend as social media users tweeted photos and videos of themselves celebrating the annual race, all decked out in their Derby best. Tom Brady was called out for dressing like Judge Doom, and of course, many called out all the folks that are not social distancing and wearing masks at the Derby. Didn't Chris Jericho did something at the Tampa Bay Downs? I think he did something along those lines.
Duh.
Let's continue talking. Hashtag socialism in 5 words made the rounds on Twitter over the weekend. Tweets including hashtags read the power of the pen, all power to the people, Trump cultists don't understand socialism, Jesus was a brown socialist, when conservatives don't like something, and life would suck without it. Okay, those are the ones that were making the hashtags. Also, a hashtag that was also making the sequence was Mayday was also attached to many of the tweets. So there you go. So maybe it was more like socialism in 7, not so much in 5. Several cereals were trending on Sunday after users asked the followers to rank them. The cereals were Frosted Mini Wheats, Apple Jacks, Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes, Corn Pops, Raisin Bran, Rice Krispies, Apple Jacks, Rice Krispies again, I guess because it was so good the first time, and Frosted Flakes Rice Krispies, Apple Jacks, Rice Krispies, Frosted Flakes took home the top spots, while Frosted Mini Wheats and Corn Pops tanked in the ranking. So there you go. Hashtag also that was making the sequence of events was hashtag Happy Birthday Dwayne Johnson was trending on Sunday as Twitter users passed along birthday wishes to The Rock as he turned 49. So there you go. A lot of interesting things for sure as we do talk about it because, that's how the news works. It makes it interesting, especially seeing what's going on inside of the world of the hashtags. So there you go. I'll probably tell you about my weekend after the news, because I think that's going to be, it'll be something to talk about, because it was definitely something to talk about when everything was going down. Anyways, here's our friends at Feature Story News. Let's get them rolling.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. India's reported more than 368,000 COVID-19 cases and 3,400 deaths in the last 24 hours. It's the 12th straight day that India's added more than 300,000 cases to its total tally, which is nearing the 20 million mark. Neha Punia reports from New Delhi.
More than 2 weeks in, hospitals across India are still struggling to operate with insufficient supplies. The Indian Supreme Court has now asked the federal government to ensure there's enough oxygen for the capital by midnight. 5 Delhi hospitals sent out SOS messages in the last 24 hours, including a children's hospital, warning their supplies will run out in just a few hours. International aid, including ventilators and oxygen concentrators, continue to reach India, with more than 40 countries promising to help, but critics are now demanding transparency over how this aid has been allocated on the ground. Neha Punia, New Delhi.
The number of patients in Japan with severe COVID-19 symptoms hit a record high of 1,050. The country is currently battling to bring infection rates under control. Phoebe Amoroso reports from Tokyo.
Those with serious coronavirus symptoms have been steadily rising in Japan alongside the number of infections. New coronavirus cases were reported at 5,900 on Sunday, with 61 associated deaths. The healthcare system is increasingly under strain. In Osaka, one of the worst affected areas, the number of critically ill COVID-19 patients has exceeded available hospital beds. Some hospitals are requesting for previously scheduled surgeries to be postponed until the end of the holiday period on May the 9th. The Japanese government is looking to speed up the rollout of vaccinations and has announced plans to open a large-scale vaccination centre in Tokyo later this month. Currently, only around 1.3% of Japan's population has been vaccinated. Phoebe Amoroso, Tokyo.
Secondary school pupils in France are going back to class on Monday after an extended coronavirus closure which began in late March for schools. The move is the second stage of 5 planned steps from the government to ease the current COVID-19 restrictions over the next 2 months. Ross Cullen reports from Paris.
Pupils in primary schools went back to class last week, and this week all other students are returning from high schools to universities, though only for a mix of in-person and online lectures. As well as that, the national 10-kilometre travel limit is being removed, though the 7 p.m. curfew remains in place. There is now no limit on domestic travel you can make throughout France, provided it is between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. Ross Cullen, Paris.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says China is being more repressive at home and more aggressive abroad. He's made the comments in an interview before attending a G7 foreign ministers meeting in London. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves only on Safety FM.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the news, as you did hear right there. So let's continue talking some more. So I have to tell you, because sometimes I'm just amazed on some of these things that I do discover. So I was hanging out over the weekend and decided, I've been trying to do this whole thing where I'm trying to go out into the open and all this other weird stuff that I haven't done in the past because I'm a recluse. So I've been actually going out, did a camping thing last weekend. So this weekend, I was like, let's continue this national park marathon that I've been trying to do as of late. So I decide that I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to a national park. A matter of fact, a federal park that's not too far from where I live. So I load the family up into this vehicle and we go down. And inside of this federal park, they have 13 beach entrances. Now, let me reference the reason that I'm deciding that I'm going to go out and do this stuff now is because I want to do this whole thing with nature and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun. But as I get there, there's 13 beach entrances. Well, I guess, you really need to pay attention to signs on what exactly things are. So as I decide to do this, I'm looking around. And I noticed that inside of this beach, they have a section for naturalists. Boy, if you're not familiar with that, that's a surprise when you actually go down there. So apparently beach number 13 or entrance number 13 is for naturalists. So not being fully aware of what exactly that means, cool. So I said, well, let's not go to 13 and let's go to beach entrance number 12. Well, needless to say, as I was driving down and going around and about and all that kind of fun stuff, well, come to find out that as I get to entrance of beach number 12, park, get in, haul all the stuff, and get in there, set the tent up. Well, I found out what a naturalist is over the weekend. So I did not realize that nudists and naturalists seem to be the same thing. So at Section 13th of this Federal Reserve Park that you can go to the beach to, well, there is definitely a nudist section. So there you go. Did not know that and found that out over the weekend. So I guess when you go to new places, you should probably read the signs before you do anything else.
Duh.
Some things to think about for sure as we are talking here this morning and doing the things that we do. Always some fun stuff as we are moving and grooving inside of the world. My wires are all messed up. Anyway, so let's get into some news and talk about what's important to you. It is 13 minutes past the top of the hour, and let's give you what's going on according to the hit list. The hit list. 2 people died and 23 were injured after a boat capsized off of the coast of San Diego yesterday in what authorities believed was a human smuggling operation. Nearly 100 first responders were on the scene to assist the search and rescue operation. It is not clear what caused the boat to overturn. The situation is still ongoing. I so hope that that's funny was still talking about my naturalist thing and not about the story that I was talking about. I'm sure that that's how the timing worked out. So most of the times when I start talking, there's a minor delay. So I think I got what you meant there. As of Sunday, over 245.5 million COVID vaccines have been administered nationwide, and over 104.7 million Americans have been fully vaccinated, while more than 147 million have received at least one dose, according to the CDC. The total number of cumulative cases is now just a little over 32 million, and over 573,700 people have now died. We have seen that number continue to go up. Deaths are attributed to that virus as we continue to talk about them. So there you go. Definitely some information there to talk about, consider, and so on as we do move forward talking about these things. You know, that's a huge number. I mean, regardless of how you look at it, 573,000 1,700. Anyways, let's continue talking. Medina Spirit pulled off an upset at the 2021 Kentucky Derby. The horse held the lead for the majority of the Saturday race before taking home the crown. Bob Buffett, Medina Spirit trainer, set a Kentucky Derby record with his seventh career win at Churchill Downs. Yeah, Mandolin has come in second with the Red Hot Charlie in third. Do you guys even watch the Kentucky Derby? I mean, I'm just asking a question here. I don't know. I don't personally watch it. What do you think about it? If you do watch it, is it something that you spend time doing? Because that's the other thing. There's a lot of stuff to think about, of course, as we always talk about the weird, the world of the weird as it does come about.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Also, before we get into this next one, let's make sure that we have our little QR code here that leads you to this little sign right there to let people know that you're not speaking at any events on the 13th through the 15th of September, just in case if you're not doing so. So that's there right there just to be able to share. And then also, I mean, and just in case, the QR code takes you to this to be able to download it. So this is the sign that says, I am not speaking at any safety conference or expo between September the 13th and the 15th, just in case you want to hang out, take a look at that, or actually even upload it to your social media platforms. So there you go. I guess I should talk about this other thing, because we haven't mentioned it, and we're so close away from it, or so close to it, or is it close away or close to it? I'm not even sure anymore. So the AC, should I just talk about it now, or should I just have them bring it up? I don't know. I never know. I never know these things. I just think I know what I'm doing half the time. Okay, I guess I'll bring up this, and then I'll have myself say it in past tense or in future verse. Is it future verse?
Have you ever sat back and asked yourself that question, who is in your corner? Well, that's what we're all about on May the 18th at Safety Day 2021, presented by the ACFS. Come to the event on May the 18th at the Rosen Plaza Hotel in Orlando, Florida. There'll be world-renowned speakers speaking about this all-important subject of who is in your corner when it comes to dealing with safety. If you want to learn on how to reduce risk, how to support safety, and be a health champion, this is the event for you. Don't miss out on this event, available by the ACFS. Now, the question that always comes up is, what are these events worth? What is the cost? What is it going to cost me? Well, it's not going to be as much as some of the other events. You will get this great value for $30. Yes, you heard me correctly. $30. That's lunch, that's parking, and that's even CEUs for $30. For more information, go to acfs.org. That's acfs.org. And enjoy Safety Day 2021, an in-person event. So there you go. That's happening on May the 18th. If you want to come hang out, do the things that you do. If you're going to be in the area, we'd love to see you there, of course. And then just in case for you to know, we will be broadcasting live from there off and on throughout the day, doing some different things there at Safety FM, just talking about what's going on. We will be interviewing some of the speakers as they come off the stage, all that kind of fun stuff, doing that, and then, of course, speaking to the people at the ACFS. And I'm sure we might even pull in this show over there just in case. So we'll be there early enough to pull it off. And then we'll kind of just go in throughout the day and kind of hang out. It is $30, as I did state in the ad, but it is $30 for CEUs, parking, lunch, and the event itself. I mean, you can't really beat that dollar for dollar for most of the other things that you're seeing out there right now. Just saying. Just saying. And you're in Orlando. I mean, come on, Orlando. So there you go. Anyways, it is 19 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's continue talking.
America's mental health is suffering. Yes, not a joke here. Before COVID-19, the national mental health wasn't great, but during COVID-19, it has been disastrous. Yeah, take a listen to this. In 2019, there was a record number of suicides, over 47,000, and overdoses over 70,000, as well as high rates of depression and anxiety among young people. Then now, if you throw COVID into the mix, the depression rates have tripled. As of last June, fatal overdoses have increased an all-time record of 81,000. The suicide rate is harder to calculate, and many take years to know the full extent of the pandemic affected those numbers. But according to the Washington Post, 1 in 4 people under the age of 30 seriously considered taking their own lives over the past year. This is no longer a want or a wish. We must continue, or we must really seriously continue talking about this information dealing with mental health. So there you go. We need to talk about this. So this will be a time that we need to focus, and we need to really bring this up about our friends at the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. Listen, this is not a joke. This is not, anything that we should not talk about. We should be talking about this all the time. Know, number one, that you're not alone. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local community whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. Listen, with those numbers that we were just talking about, we know that the rates are high based on what is going on. We also know that this is a very important conversation, that at some point there was a level of shame associated to it, and that's not what we're trying to do. Listen, we all go through struggles. Right now, that was telling you that 1 in 4 people contemplated, under the age of 30, contemplated taking their own life during the pandemic. Just FYI here, we're still in a pandemic. So we need to be talking about these things. So if you want to find out more information of resources that are available, you can go to several different websites. AFSP.org is one of them. AFSP.org. You can go to another website. I like this one, and I like the other one a lot too. To Write Love on Her Arms. To Write Love on Her Arms. I will tell you, they have great resources on both websites of what is available, and to continue this conversation that's so important. If you don't want to go to the websites and you'd rather do a phone call, you can call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Or you can text the word TALK to 741-741. Seriously, we can't do what we do without you, the most important part, you. Nobody can fill your position. Nobody can do anything that you are doing. I mean, let's just be realistic. You're here for a reason. That's the thing. So let's think about that real quick. Don't do anything. Seriously, don't do anything until you've contacted them if you're going through these struggles right now. We all go through this at one step or another. Levels of depression or contemplating of suicide. Let's be realistic as we do talk about this. I don't know. I feel that most of the times people don't dare talk about this conversation because they don't know what info might come out of it. But it's something that needs to be talked about, not sometime, all the time. I try to make it a daily conversation about what is going on. I mean, seriously, it really needs to be talked about all the time. Let's continue talking a little bit more here about other things that are going on right now. California is giving over 76,000 inmates their freedom. More than 63,000 of those inmates have been convicted for violent crimes, including 20,000 inmates who are serving life sentences with possibility of parole. Yeah, possibility. Also, another new rule, more than 10,000 prisoners convicted on second serious but nonviolent crimes under the state 3 strikes law will be eligible to be released after serving only half of their sentence. The move is part of the state's goal to further trim the prison population of what once the nation's largest state correctional systems. I don't even know what to say here. I'm kind of at a total loss of words for that one, but what the F?
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM. Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Officers in Houston were shocked when they discovered a home more than 90 people inside after responding to a reported kidnapping call on Friday. Of the individuals in the 2,300 square foot home, 5 were adults, females, and the rest were males. Multiple people reported possible coronavirus symptoms, prompting a call to the health department. Assistant Police Chief Darren Edwards called an investigation a disturbing human smuggling case, not trafficking thing. So there you go. That's interesting. 90 people inside a 2,300 square foot home. That definitely means that there was no furniture around. I don't know how you'd fit that many people inside of there. And how do you get that call? So it's a kidnapping call, but what kidnapping of what? That's the other question as we do talk about it. Did you hear about this one? 3 teens have been arrested in connection of a shooting of a 6-year-old boy in Yonkers, New York. Officers said that the shot was fired one of 2 suspect shooters, ages 17 and 15, who were targeting 2 individuals in a vehicle parked nearby. A 16-year-old accomplice was also present for the shooting. The child was reportedly opening the front door when he was struck in the chest by the stray bullet. He was rushed to the hospital there where he was listed in stable condition over the weekend. 2 of the teens are facing attempted murder and assault charges. The third teen has been charged with hindering prosecution and criminal possession of a firearm. I don't get it. I mean, I really don't, but I don't understand a lot of this stuff, and I guess this is where some of these conversations should probably take place of, can you please expand my mind for me when it comes to all this stuff of all these shootings, because I just don't understand it. Anyways, as we continue talking, the Seattle Police Department is losing officers at a record pace. According to the city officials of the SPD, had a police officer or police force of 1,276 uniform officers, and at the end of February or end of 2020, and by the end of February 2021, they have dropped by 249 officers. Seattle Police Officers Guild President Mike Salon said that morale is not good, and it wasn't because we don't have the political support from the elected officials. Mike said that while that hundreds of officers were injured during the riots, elected officials blamed them for being investigators. What? Instigators. Oh my God, I can't read. So there you go. So a lot of people are not liking this. So what do you think about this? Are you seeing drops in your area when it comes to the police department, the sheriff's department? Whatever type of officers you have in your area. I asked the question because this seems to be something that's going on across the country, not at the record levels that they're going on in Seattle, but it seems to be something that's going on quite a bit. So what do you think here? Like, when this comes to mind, what is your thought process? Are you seeing it in your area? And what level of concern? Do you look at this as a good thing or a bad thing? Because that's the whole other portion. It's all on how you look at this right now, but the levels seem to be changing. And what do you think about this? Is this the impact that you were looking for? Is this the impact of the things that you thought were going to happen? I don't know. I'm asking you the question.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
2 people are dead and a third seriously wounded after a gunman opened fire in a Wisconsin bar on Saturday night. Officers who shot and killed the gunman believed that he was looking for a specific victim who was not there, so he decided to shoot some of the person's friends and coworkers. The shooting occurred inside of Duck Creek Restaurant inside of Oneida Casino Radisson Conference Center in I guess it's just a little west of Green Bay. None of the victims or the gunman have been identified. But this happened over the weekend. I don't get it. I don't really get it. Like, I swear that we come back from the weekend and this is what we talk about most of the time. Some kind of new gun violence occurring in X, Y, or Z. So what do you think about this? I mean, I would love to hear your opinion about it. Like, I don't know. I'm not asking about anything related to gun control, but I'm asking what do you think should be done? Not asking for a change in the Second Amendment, but what do you think about this? And I know we've had the conversation 1,000 times that people that want guns legally or illegally will get guns one way, shape, or form. But what do you think about all this? I mean, what have we talked about so far? 3, 4 stories? 3 or 4 news clippings about what is going on. And yes, I know if you take the percentage of the gun violence compared to other things that are going on and so on, but these are the ones that I'm reporting on. This is not even all of them. Think about it for a moment. It's quite a bit. A lot of stuff to think about as we do talk about it. I know some people don't like me talking about it, but that's okay.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
So did you hear about this? SpaceX safely returned 4 astronauts from International Space Center on Sunday. The Dragon capsule parachuted into the Gulf of Mexico off of the coast of Panama City, Florida, just before 3 a.m. The return, which took about 6.5 hours, was the first under the cover of darkness since the Apollo 8 moonshot. The astronaut had been stationed at the ISS since last November. So there you go, a 6.5-hour descent. Get it back over here. Well, really not descent, but, the whole thing of getting back. But there you go, in the darkness, Panama City. Take me home to, I thought it was Paradise City, not Panama City. But there you go, Panama City is where it was actually going about, where things were actually taking place. Pretty interesting stuff, and when you really start thinking about a lot of it there, because then what happens? Who knows? I don't know. I want to see if there's any kind of video of the darkness and why they do it in the dark this time. That's another question.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that are going on inside of this lovely, lovely, lovely world of ours as we do talk. We always focus on some kind of main story. We always focus on what's going on inside of the world of the news and all that kind of fun stuff. But, what do you do when you get information that is, well, should I say opposite of what you believe, or should I say different than what you are normally accustomed to? I don't know. Maybe we should talk about that. But think about it at times. Think about at times when we're talking, we're doing things at our work organization, or maybe we're hanging out at work, and you get data, you get information that is totally different than your beliefs, your ideas, or your values. You kind of look at this world, and we're not going to talk about process safety because that's not what I want to talk about. But you look at this world of what we do day in and day out for work, and you kind of go how this might be against what you believe in. This might be against what some of your thought processes are. This might be against a lot of these things that you think about. I mean, just think about it for a moment. And there's definitely some things that you might think about and you might consider where you go, I don't know. But let's talk about that because there is a moment. There is a moment in time that you have to reflect on some of these things. Because here's the thing. I know for years at this point, at least it feels like years, we've had conversations of, is it worth going against your values for a paycheck? Well, I'll tell you, we talked a lot about that pre-pandemic. So it's interesting to think about that now. Would you be willing to risk everything and go against it or go against it if they were giving you a paycheck, or would you be willing to walk away? And of course, some people were mixed up inside of the box and some text messages and all that kind of fun stuff on what their belief system was. But think about this real quick. So let's talk about cognitive dissonance, which occurs when a person holds contrary beliefs, ideas, or values and typically experience as a psychological stress. This is not uncommon when they participate in an action that goes against one or more of what they believe in. According to the theory, when two action or ideas are not psychologically consistent with each other, people tend to have that moment of, oh my God, what do I do? Of their power becomes, they want to change it. They want to do something different, but they don't know what to do. What do they do in their power? What do? They just become, oh my Lord, I don't know what to do. It's the discomfort that all of a sudden that is triggered by one's personal beliefs that this is something against my foundational core of what I would be doing. Or you get new information and it's perceived all of a sudden to be, this is not correct. And it's that mind-altering moment that it clashes with everything that you have. Think about a good movie for a moment that has that twist at the end, or has that momentary twist that it's like all the drama or all the suspense is all happening at once. I mean, that everything's changing. That everything is not what you believed or everything along those lines. It's that moment of boom. There you go. This is something that you'd not expect. People go through that when they get new information, when it goes against their existing paradigm, when it goes against their existing whatever you want to use that word right there. So what do you do for that? Because that's the thing. A lot of times in our work environments, this is something that comes up. There might be something that is not actually correct to do, or it could be correct to do, but totally different viewpoint. It's that moment that if you're an instructor, a facilitator, a teacher, where you call it that aha moment, where you see when people get it. It's that they got that information that is totally different than what their actual beliefs was. I mean, in a theory of cognitive dissonance back in 1957, it was proposed that human beings strive for internal psychological consistency to further their mentality in the real world. A person who experiences internal inconsistencies tends to become psychologically uncomfortable and is motivated to reduce cognitive dissonance. Think about that for a moment. They tend to make changes to justify the stressful behavior, and either adding new parts of cognitive and causing a psychological dissonance of rationalization, or by avoiding circumstances and contrary information likely to increase the magnitude of cognitive dissonance by confirmation bias. I know that what you're saying is potentially wrong, and I'm going to prove it by what I already believe in. I mean, let's use the example today. Let's talk about a Toyota Corolla. If you don't drive a Toyota Corolla, you probably don't think about Toyota Corollas. And if you do go driving around today, tell me how many Toyota Corollas you actually see. Nothing against the Toyota Corolla, by the way. But it's that all of a sudden you're looking for it. You're looking out. You're looking for, oh, this is something. Like, think about it. Think about any time you're going to go purchase a new car. Let's just use a car for an example. Aren't you amazed on how many of those same type of cars you see on the road after you started looking, even though you've never seen that many before? Why does that work? Why does that go into that particular fashion? So why is it that we have such a hard time adapting to information that might be good or information that might be bad, depending on what's going on, especially if we already have a certain belief system? Why do those things happen? Coping with nuances of contrary ideas or experiences is mentally stressful. Yes, I know this. But it requires energy and effort to sit with those who seemingly oppose things that seem to be true. Think about that for a moment. This is why I have such a hard time when people will not sit there and have a conversation about different point of views. I can't come on. I can't come on to your platform. No, I can't talk to you because we don't agree. The only way that you're ever going to be able to look at other people's differences, get good, bad, or indifferent, is by conversation. It's how we communicate. It's how things change. Imagine how pissed off you can get by a conversation. Imagine how happy you can get by a conversation. I mean, I could tell you today, at the end of the day, I'm going to give you $1 million. And if you know that was to be true, how happy would your day be? If I was to tell you at the end of the day you're going to be fired, how sad would you be? Depending on your work environment, of course. But those are the things that we should talk about. I'm just using those as extreme examples, of course, and sorry for undercutting some people. But think about this for a moment on how different life would be if you were open to the idea of speaking to other people that don't have the exact same point of view as you. Imagine how much that world would expand, how much that world would be different. I don't know. I keep on thinking about that quite a bit as of late because I think it's an important topic, opposed to just sitting there and going, we can only see things in one method. Unfortunately, based on what we do, if you're inside of the world of safety, there are some organizations that try to push that on you. There's some high level organizations that try to push that on you. You can only believe in what we have to say and no one else. And if you disagree with us, well, we're going to cut you out. Sounds like something else that I used to know of. But it's weird. It's kind of one of those weird things of why can't people move forward and go down the track and take a look and have that conversation? Why can't we partner with X? Why can't we partner with Y? And why can't we partner with Z? Why is it that if we're open-minded enough to be able to expand, some of the bigger people tend to get scared? Is there a reason to be? I don't think there is. I think it's great to be able to have those conversations. But then again, what do I know? It's the guy behind the microphone.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit tunein2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
And we still independent. ISO, yeah, we trending. Watch what you say, don't offend them. They keeping it real, they commend them. People like get your wife pregnant, but I ain't trying to be dependent. I need money, never ending. I'm talking 100%. I need the owner, you rent it.
Whoa, step in the spot and watch how they panic. Yeah, we the duo, you know we dynamic. When we outside, we be stopping the traffic. Breaking their necks, them they upset. How them boys doing more when they got less? How they on this and how they on that? How they got this and how they got that? Too busy watching us, they need to stop that. Talking my shit, you know we gon' pop that. See it, I like it, yeah, I'm gon'
Okay, here you go. This is some ISO indies.
I'm steady calling your bluff.
This one's called Safe House.
You don't want smoke, tell them that's tough,
Yeah, readily available on Spotify and iTunes.
Didn't need to watch them know that I'll be here in no time. Put a candle on it, had to tell them they could blow mine. Ice, camera, action, it shows. Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house.
Oh, there you go, there you go, there you go. 43 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out this lovely morning, talking a little bit about everything that's going on inside of the world of the news. Anyways, let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about some things. Don't know if you hung out on the Netflix over the weekend. Yeah, not a joke. Netflix has added a new feature that seems everyone has been asking for. We stopped getting DVDs via snail mail. Shuffle. Yeah, just in case. Last week, Netflix announced Play Something. The name they're giving to their Shuffle feature is now available to all users. The streaming company says that Play Something can perform a few tasks. It will either play a new series or a film similar to what you've watched before it, and can automatically play an episode or a film that you've already watched and may want to watch again. And it can play an episode from the shows that you've started but haven't finished picking up where you left off. Or in my case, it will play a film similar to the one dude who lent me his password has watched before. Yeah, that's something to think about. And what it really needs to choose is something that's not similar to the crap I've watched before, because that's probably important. And I'm happy to see that this is finally here, but it definitely is not a Netflix original, that's for sure. And for some reason, when I was using it, it kept on showing me a lot of stuff with Hannah McKay, and I don't get it.
More sarcasm than Mortal Kombat Beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So have you heard about the weekend? Yeah, no. The week, WEAK. NED, yeah. So what do you do on the weekend? Yeah, fill your face with every chance you had. What? Yeah, there you go. Probably is in this new study is accurate. A survey says that they have found that 2/3 of us use the weekend meals as a reward for making up through another work week. It found that more than 2 in 5, 44% of adults say that they eat better food quality on the weekends than they do Monday through Friday, and more than half, 55%, believe that eating can act as a form of therapy. The one poll survey of 2,000 Americans also revealed that 59% feel that they are too tired at the end of the weekday to actually cook anything, perhaps opting for the fast food drive-through. 31% admitted that they just want not to do dishes during the workday. The problem is that if I choose the quantity over quality on the weekend too. It's funny because my family uses Monday meals as a reward for making it through another weekend with me. Alrighty, instead of a cheat day, now we have a cheat weekend. I don't know why they say cheat. Because think about that for a moment. When you use the word cheat when it comes to food, cheating all of a sudden resembles as a prize. I mean, think about that. I was cheating this weekend on having this X, Y, and Z food. Cheating. Huh. Wonder how that would work if you told your spouse I was cheating this weekend, huh? What? Yeah, exactly. Think about that for a moment. Think about why we use that particular term. And what do you think about this food thing? Are you going around and eating whatever you can Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends you try to eat better, or vice versa? I'm just asking. I know of people that they hide what they eat. Like, they don't want other people to know what they eat, especially their significant other during the weekdays. So it's like they're almost having like an outside relationship with food alone. Think about that before.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh, yeah, good to the last drop. Yeah, I said that out loud. The time-honored tradition of struggling to squeeze for the last bit of toothpaste from the tube could become a thing of the past. Colgate has partnered with Liquid Glide to come up with a new toothpaste tube of coating designed to avoid waste. Liquid Glide went viral in 2012 with a video showing a ketchup bottle being completely empty. Yeah, the slippery coating technology that uses the possible that is Colgate with its new XL toothpaste, frictionless. I don't even know what that means. They say that the traditional tubes, 1 to 13% of the toothpaste goes to waste. Right now, Colgate is only selling the new clear, completely transparent, fully recyclable toothpaste tubes with special coating in Europe. No word on when it might be available in North America. As well as you probably pay 40% more to get 13% of your toothpaste out. Trust me, with my toothpaste just gets about 1% goes to waste. And, the other people around here like Sheldon, you could like Sheldon, who is so stingy that he cuts the end of the toothpaste just to get all of it out. That's not a joke. You can actually hit him up on on his podcast and see exactly what he has to say about it. You can tell him that I sent you over there. It's perfectly fine.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's get you ready. If you are not aware of this weekend coming up is Mother's Day. So we have to start talking about it, especially if you have not went out and purchased a gift. So we need to start getting you prepped. If you have a significant other and you have children with them, especially if it's a female, you might want to, get the Mother's Day gift. If for your mother, you might want to get a Mother's Day gift. So let me give you some things real quick. So Mother's Day's ideas that you can do even during the quarantine. Make her breakfast in bed. Yes, it's an oldie but a goodie, but it's a great way for mom to kickstart her day. Make breakfast as family while she sleeps, then present it to her along with gifts and cards, so on. Next, pay someone to clean the kitchen before she sees it. So just FYI there. Some other things real quick that you come up with. Host a virtual Mother's Day celebration if you can't be with her. Meet via Zoom, Skype, and bring the party to mom. You can play a game, ask attendees to bake a Mother's Day cake beforehand, and have them open up a Mother's Day's presents in front of everyone. Invite your siblings to or not. That's entirely up to you. But I mean, that's something that you can do. Virtual cooking class is something that seems to be popular as well. Make an elaborate meal for her to attend a virtual cooking class. Mom can get some fun out of this. You can also enjoy the comfort of her own couch, as if mom is going to let you cook without her overseeing what the hell is going on, just in case. Clean the house. Take something off of her list of things to do, cleaning the house or handling any of those chores that she likes to do or doesn't like to do or normally tends to do. I mean, I'm not saying that this normally defaults to women, because let's make sure that we're clear here. But sometimes a lot of females tend to do this because they're trying to do the motherly thing. There's some motherly thing or the paternal thing, however you want to word it, not condescending in any kind of shape, way, or form. So let's just make sure that we're clear here. But if you can help out and do something that she would normally go out of the way and that she's doing, set up a scrapbooking section if she's into that stuff, better than digitally. But buy a scrapbook, print out some pics of family trips and just a few favorites that you know that mom loves. Then get to work. Not only will she enjoy the keepsake, but she'll definitely know that she loves reminiscing. At-home spa. Let her relax and focus on self-care. Set up a at-home spa. It could be a bath, an elaborate skincare routine, or a massage. Let her relax in a spa-like environment from the safety and comfort of her own home. Just ignore Dad when he wonders why there is a bodybuilder named Slavin walking around in the living room. I mean, just stuff to think about. That's for sure. Anyways, just some things to think about for Mother's Day if you have not thought about anything right there so far. So let's talk real quick about the swamp before we get too deep, because I don't want to get too far. On Saturday, the Washington Post, New York Times, and NBC News all issued similar corrections, walking back their reporting about the raid of Rudy Giuliani's apartment last week. Their initial reporting came to an anonymous source who suggested Giuliani had been briefed by the FBI in 2019 that he was targeting a Russian-sponsored influence operation, but the briefing never happened. By Saturday afternoon, each of the outlets had walked back the original news story. And I think we spoke on that briefly, so I'm glad we're able to speak on it again and talk about that. What happened? Okay, so no winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for $345 million jackpot or a $234.6 million cash payout. No winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Wednesday's drawing will be for $142 million jackpot or a $97.9 million cash payout. So there you go. If you play, there you go. Let me give you the top 5 movies at the box office that occurred over the weekend. Raya and the Last Dragon, $1.3 million. At number 4, Separation, $1.8 million. At number 3, Godzilla, $2.7 million. Number 2, Mortal Kombat, $6.2 million. And at number 1, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, $6.3 million. Just in case you wanted to know, I don't know. Have you been going to the movies? I haven't been to the movies yet. I haven't been to the movie theater in a long time. Just saying. Just some info there. Let's continue talking a little bit here real quick. Let's talk about the day. No, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about today's birthdays, if you're inclined to knowing some of those. Let's see. Eric Church turns 44. Christian Hendricks turns 46. Joel Hill, 46. Damon Dash, 50. Rob Brydon, 56, Bruce Hall, 68, and Frankie Valli, Four Seasons former frontman, turns 87 today. Let's talk about some things that occurred back on this day. Let's take a look. Let's talk about a year ago, because it's so interesting. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo blames China for the spread and severity of COVID-19. He also accused the Chinese government for stockpiling medical supplies, all while concealing the virus from the rest of the world. This is according to Mike Pompeo last year during this date, just in case. Anyways, let's talk about some days of the year that we could talk about or celebrate today, depending on what you want to do. National Saying Arcus Day, National Lumpy Rug Day, National Garden Meditation Day, National Specialty Apple Pets Day, National Two Different Colored Shoes Day, National Paranormal Day, National Chocolate Custard Day, National Raspberry Pop Over Day. What the hell is that? National Textile Day, National Montana Day, and WordPress Freedom Day. So there you go. That's all going on at 55 minutes past the top of the hour. So there you go. In the next 5 minutes or so, we'll be jumping over exclusively hanging out on Radio Big. If you want to come and hang out, and let's talk what's going on over there. Anyways, let's talk about some whack facts for today. Tom Hanks is a third cousin, 4 generation removed from Abraham Lincoln. Not a joke there. Ariana Grande always wears her hair in a ponytail because it's damaged from years of dyeing it that required her on her roles of Nickelodeon. Katy Perry wasn't allowed to eat Lucky Charms as a child because her religious parents said the word lucky was associated with Lucifer. Woody Harrelson's dad was an assassin. Despite the fact she has her own fragrance, Beyonce is allergic to perfume. Bill Gates' real-life net worth is 10 times that of Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne in the comics. So there you go. So is he a superhero? Is that what we're leaning to? I'm just asking the question. Anyways, let's talk about some other things real quick. If you need a random joke for today, try this one. I wonder if my neighbor thinks about me cutting my grass as often as I think about me cutting my grass. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What are you absolutely not good at? Yeah, that's an interesting one. If you need something for the water cooler, try this one. One study found that 71% of the U.S. feels that Monday is the worst day of the week to do this. What is it? Grocery shopping. I totally disagree. I want to say that it's the weekend. I think the weekend's the worst time to go grocery shopping. That's why I'm lazy and I use my friends at Shipt. Anyways, that's something to think about real quick, just for the reference of actually saying it.
I'm a trial lawyer. I'm not part of your family, and I don't do skits with my mom. I'm a real lawyer, a damn good lawyer, the best lawyer this state has to offer. And I've built a reputation for standing up for the people of this country, righting the wrongs. You may not agree with all of my views, but when it comes to trying cases, there's only one view, justice. And justice is what I get. Figer law. That's why we're unstoppable.
Oh, yes, unstoppable. The Figer people are unstoppable. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show right now here on Radio Big and on safetyfm.com. Just in case, no motivation minute for today, in case you were wondering about that, if there was a reason behind that. So if you want, you can come out to the website, come hang out, take a look what we have going on there. You can come to safetyfm.com, take a listen to what's going on. I am moving over to Radio Big. If you want to come and do that, hang out with me for just a bit. We'll play some music, talk about some other stuff that's going on inside of the world of the news, and going from there. Also, if you haven't taken a look, you can come out to safetyfm.com, and we have changed some of the show websites to some of the shows that are there listed. So if you want to take a look around, where you can see what those new ones look like, I think you might enjoy on some of them, and you can even subscribe to some of the mailer lists that are there for the individualized shows, just in case you're inclined to doing so. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen to what we have going on right here on RadioBig.fm. Thank you for taking a listen to what we have going on. You're always the best part of what we do, because without you, we couldn't do what we do. Anyways, Radio Big and Safety FM is where we've been hanging out. Safety FM is the home of real safety talk. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye. See you in a bit.
Duh. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.